Okay, so let's discuss this team right here for a second. And this team is the Cleveland Cavaliers. A year ago, we know the Cleveland Cavaliers was the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. They had over 60 wins and under 20 losses for the NBA season last year. Eventually did lose to the Indiana Pacers in the NBA playoffs, so their season definitely did not go in the way that they wished last year. This season, they have been off to an even rockier start. Let me say this, right? This Cleveland Cavaliers team, in my opinion, I don't know what the issue is, but this team is not as feared as most may have thought in the beginning of the NBA season. Yes, they still have Spider Mitchell averaging 30. They still have Darius Garland, who just came back from injury. Jared Allen, who just came back from injury. And Evan Mobley, who's currently injured. And also Max Strus, who's currently injured. So you can say maybe injuries are to blame why the team is having such a stumbling start out the gate, right? But I will say this. I think not having a Ty Jerome hurts them. I think Dean Wade not being the player that they may have thought he should be hurts them. And also, I just don't see teams fearful of this Cleveland Cavaliers squad as they once were a year ago. Last year, the Cleveland Cavaliers had a very, very dominant run during the regular season. They looked like one of the better teams in the NBA. They looked like they were poised and had the best chance out of the Eastern Conference. Not Boston, not Indiana, not New York, not Philadelphia, not any of those other teams. Cleveland looked like the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. It looked like it was going to be a collision course between the best team in the West, which was the Thunder last year, and the best team in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers, to make it to the NBA Finals. That did not happen. Now, again, like I said, I don't know what the issue is. I'm not going to blame coaching because I think Kenny Atkinson is a hell of a coach. I think he does, a phenomenal job with the group. And you can only play the players that you ultimately have. So I can't say whether or not it's that, right? It's that part of it. But I can say effort is lacking. I watched the game previously in the Cavs versus the Hornets, and I watched the Cavs play the Bulls, and both of those games showed me something, that there's ways you can exploit them. There's plenty of ways you can exploit them, especially if Spider doesn't have it going. But in the case of the last game versus the Bulls, Spider had a great game. So you got to look at other pieces to the puzzle. How did Darius Garland play? How did Jared Allen play? How did guys like DeAndre Hunter play? Lonzo Ball? Like, it's so many different moving parts. But again, like I said, Dean Wade ain't it. Like, they have to figure out something as far as Dean Wade goes, but they have to play him due to the fact that they don't have Evan Mobley currently. And we know Evan Mobley is a guy that can average a double-double. He's a defensive enforcer, so you need him out on the floor. But like I said, man, this Cleveland Cavaliers team, I'm not going to go out there and say they need to hit the panic button, but being the 9th seed currently, it is definitely some cause for concern. Being the 9th seed, it is only December, but having more losses than you had a year ago and not knowing where the rest of your season will lie definitely is going to start, having guys on edge and start pointing their fingers. But let me know what you guys think. Am I overreacting to this Cleveland Cavaliers start or not?